discussing 5 ways you can identify your ideal client. In order to identify your ideal client, you have to gather some information. So let's get started. Number 1, it's create a client avatar. What's that? An ideal client avatar is a detailed profile of your ideal customer. It describes the needs, the wants, and the pain points of that customer from comprehensive research. This is essential to your marketing strategy. A lot of people like to name their ideal client. What name embodies your ideal client? For Raven and I, it's Jasmine. So number 2, identify their demographics. Demographics is just the external and physical factors that characterize your client, like age, income, location, gender, ethnicity, marital status, and education. Number 3 is identify their social habits. That can include hobbies and interests. Number 4, that's identify psychographics. Psychographic information focuses on psychological factors about the client. That can be beliefs, that can be motivations, that can be priorities, that can be attitudes, that can be aspirations, and that can be values. And lastly, number 5, know their pain points. This is so important. A pain point is something that bothers your ideal customer that you have the answer for. It is a specific problem that a prospective customer of your business is experiencing. If you know your client's pain point, you can speak directly to them so they know that they can come to you or your business to solve their problem. So we're going to do a brief example of this with a customer we all know and some of us love. So our ideal client in this one is Homer Simpson. And the product is Duff Beer from the show, okay? So now we're gonna hit, that was our client avatar. Now we're gonna hit the demographics. So his age is approximately 40. These are all guesses, but you know the show. His age is approximately 40. His income is around $30K. His location is Springfield, Oregon. His gender is male. His ethnicity, is American. His marital status is married to Marge. Education, I imagine high school. And we have to identify social habits now. So his hobbies includes watching TV, drinking beer, and eating. And his interests include going to the bar, Moe's Tavern, doing as little work as possible at the power plant. He mostly sleeps. He loves raspberry cream filled donuts, and he watches the Itchy and Scratchy show with his children a lot. So now we have to identify his psychographics. So his beliefs, and I'm just doing one of these. His beliefs, doing as little as possible to scrape by in the world. His motivations, food, beer, and making love to his wife. His priorities, his family, even though it doesn't always seem like it. His attitude, you only live once, or YOLO. So he almost always does what he wants, even no matter the consequences. His aspirations are to have wealth and to spoil his family. But it will never come to fruition though, because he has no work ethic. His values, provide basic needs for himself and his family by going to work, but nothing more, because that requires like some real work ethic. So now we have to know their pain points. He wants to make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort. Also, he thinks his wife is too good for him. So that's a place of insecurity for him. And he loves lounging and being lazy and making wild decisions, but also feels bad that his wife is always upset with him because deep down he knows he wants to please her. So do you see how specific that was? That's how much you have to know about your ideal client to target them and to market to them. We got down to the raspberry donuts that Homer Simpson eats. But now I own Duff Beer. I know how to touch his pain points. I know how to reach my ideal client because I did the ideal client avatar and broke down everything. So, in conclusion, in order to identify your target client and sell to your ideal client, in order to identify, target, and sell to your ideal client, you have to know absolutely everything about them. This ideal client exercise will help you. So again, just to recap, it is the ideal client avatar. Number 1, create that. 2 is demographics. 3 is know their social habits. 4 is psychographics. And 5 is know their pain points. If you do all of that, you will be able to reach your ideal client.